Hi, my name is Tim Frankenberger, and I'm president of Tango International. I'm here to tell you about some resources that we have available to people interested in resilience that we have been producing under this Building Resilience in the Horn of Africa program that Feed the Future was funding for ILRI. And so as a result, they asked us to take existing data sets that we had been collecting in Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and to do meta-analysis on some of the key variables that are having influence on resilience. So there was a paper that was generated on social capital and its effect on resilience. There's another one on psychosocial factors and resilience, where we look at aspirations and people's self-efficacy and seeing how that actually influences people's resilience. We have a third paper focused on livelihood diversity and how livelihood diversity does or does not lead to resilience. And a fourth paper looked at the three types of capacities, the absorptive, adaptive, and transformative capacities, and how they actually enabled managing risk from different kinds of shocks. So shocks with regards to drought, but also shocks with regards to food price crises. So 4 of the papers that are in this series are based on these meta-analyses. There are also 3 papers that were produced by Cornell in this series as well. One that is focused on how to go from a theory of change to estimation models for measuring resilience. A second paper was looking at existing secondary data sources and how, if you take a resilience lens to the data that's from these secondary data sources, can you actually measure resilience with data that we already have, or what's missing, so that you can fill those gaps, so we can take advantage of using secondary data instead of having to go out and collect primary data again. And so that was done for northern Kenya. And then the third paper looks at different measurement approaches being followed by USAID, by FAO, by the World Bank, and tries to see what are the similarities and differences between these measurement approaches, and so that people get some notion of comparability between things that are being used for measurement. And then finally, there were 3 papers generated by IFPRI that are part of this series. One that's focused on livestock marketing in Kenya. One that is basically creating a database of all the different surveys that have been done in East Africa, so that people can go to those to do resilience analysis with the secondary data as well. And then the third one was more focused on trying to create an example of how what that would look like if you actually did take the secondary data and analyze it to look at resilience issues. So those are all available on the ILRI website, and we'll cite that in the FSN newsletter for people to have access to. And I think these 10 papers kind of represent where we are kind of currently on the measurement issues, and I think they're a great summary of things for people that aren't familiar with resilience measurement that could go to look at.